Hello. Now, I must first say that this is very disappointing. There had to have been a better way of going about this, and honestly, I wish it hadn't have happened. The injury to Michael Chiesa before his fight with Anthony Pettis, taking food off his table. Despite this being about Khabib, it affected people who were not involved. Thus, truly, I wish Conor McGregor had a bit more self-control, but this leads to another question. Why? Why did this happen? I always like to look at both sides and plot a conclusion between those poles. I believe that is a much truer way of thinking. Thus, to my discovery, it's as Lao Tzu had said, the flame that burns twice as bright burns half as long. Let me explain. This is about Khabib. Artem was forced to switch hotels. Now, Conor McGregor is a man with a lot of integrity when it comes to his word, what he believes in, and his small inner circle. He would do anything for them. He is a man who does not care for the rules. He will aggressively, fearlessly attack until he gets what he desires. Conor's whole life has essentially been other people putting rules before him and then Conor remorselessly answering against those rules. He does not care. It appears that the rules themselves motivate him to break past them. Thus, when his brother, Artem Lobov, was confronted, without Artem, I believe there is no chance Conor would have achieved what he has. Artem has been an integral member to his development since day one, a brother in arms since day one. Artem, being physically confronted, evoked a response that was actually very expected. This is not a publicity stunt, I do not believe. I do not believe Conor is doing this for attention. If you hurt a member of his inner circle, they are people he would give his life for. His loyalty to them is absolute. Thus, he will do everything in his power to get back at you, regardless of who else is involved. Reckless, explosive personality is why Conor McGregor is Conor McGregor. It is the double edge of why we have always watched him. It's what makes his personality so polarizing. One group to talk about his authenticity in positive light, another to talk about his monster in negative, and the two causing a discussion envelops the entire world in this same discussion. Conor McGregor is simply authentic to who he is, and that authenticity includes the monster within him. Thus, now we see the other side of what already was. One side, he can rampage the world and its fortune into his hands, and the other side is where he can burn it all to the ground just as fast. It is equally destructive as it is constructive, if not more so, because in truth, it has always been much easier to destroy than it has been to create. If Conor McGregor's personality wasn't like this, we would never have watched him to the extent we did. His polarizing personality is why the whole world joined the discussion. There is always another side to truth. The flame that burns twice as bright burns half as long. That is what we are seeing. This could have been handled much more intelligently. For disrespecting a precious member of his family, Artem Lobov, Conor could have had a match versus Khabib in Russia, then remorselessly, in the build-up, vocally do the same thing to Khabib. He could have found a more intelligent way of getting back at him. Thus, the magnitude and damage he would have done considering Conor's remorseless, explosive personality, alongside the revenue he would have generated for the UFC via authentic drama, attacking a bus, that was just peanuts. He could have done way more damage, and he could have given back to the UFC, but instead, doing this hurt it. The UFC is a world that helped him become who he is today. He could have simultaneously given back more to them and intelligently done way more damage if he was strategic and more patient. Or at least that's what I believe. But Conor McGregor is Conor McGregor. This is the double edge of a man who can amass the gaze of an entire world. For the monster that helped him do so had destruction always as a close companion. I am not justifying what happened. I am just acknowledging what is. To that end, I'm certain that there will be lumps to this level of reckless behavior.